Hi, this is Danny Swaya with Tucson Strength and Tucson Barbell Club, and we're going to go over one other thing with the squat. We went over high bar and low bar in the last video. This video we're going to talk about the setup and also squatting position with your trunk, or for lack of a better word, your core. A lot of people do not use this nearly as much. So what we're going to have is Steve get underneath the bar, and one of the first mistakes I see is the setup, where someone gets underneath the bar and they get there and then they have this huge arch, their ass is way back here, the ribs are flared out, and then they go to lift the weight, all right? And that is a completely horrible position to be in if you're gonna squat, especially if you're gonna use any amount of decent weight, all right? So very important that when you get underneath the bar that you're going to get the body in right position, the abs underneath you, his ribs are down, and he's pretty neutral here, all right? Now he's able to lift the weight up, and he's in a good, solid position, okay? Bring it back down, Steve. So we're gonna show this the bad way and good way. So a lot of people here, they get underneath here, and they have this huge arch, and they're gonna lift the weight, put a ton of load on their lower back. Not what we want. Good way, hips underneath you, abs braced, ribs down. Now his trunk and his core is braced and ready to lift, okay? The next thing we're gonna look about is the descent. All right, so one of the things we have to realize when we squat, your ribs are here and your hips are here. When you go down on the squat, it's very important that as you go down, this distance between the bottom, your rib cage and your hips should not change at all, whether you're doing high bar or low bar. And what we see is people start to shoot their butt back and they flare their ribs, and now all the force goes into your lower back. Your core is not helping you. Your trunk and your core are going to be one of the most important parts of the squat. You have to keep this braced. So do it the wrong way, Steve, and we see this a lot of time, and especially we see it a lot in women who don't know how to get their core tight, but it happens with men as well. As they come down, they drop down, and they get down, and then they have here, and then they come up, and then they arch up out of it, and they're getting out of their squat by arching up. So now, Steve's going to have his ribs braced, boom, and now he's going to squat, keeping lats tight, engaged, and notice everything stays nice and straight, up and down, okay? The best way to do this, okay, racket. A lot of people use the cue with the squat as chest up, and that is not a cue we use here, because what happens is, as people bring their chest up, they flare their ribs. So we like to pull the shoulders down and have a tall spine in the squat. Pulling your shoulders down or pulling your body up into that bar is going to allow you to maintain rib position and not lose your trunk. Okay, so very important, keep this braced the entire time. If you take your breath in, this should stay in the same position throughout the range of the motion. No duck butt on the squat. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we'll guide you in the right place.